Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday morning to you. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing, as you guys know, year in, year out, is baking. And I've had to modify my diet a little bit. I usually do the teeny weeny bikini baking on Friday nights. Been kind of under the weather, trying to get a little more sleep, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to bake things still. But I do like to make things nice for breakfast on Saturday or Sunday. So I thought tomorrow it would be nice to have something special for Sunday breakfast. So I decided to make this this cinnamon oatmeal raisin bread. And I'll bring you in to take a look at the recipe that I'm going to. This comes from Cozy Country Living, and I really like this recipe, and I like the way that they organize things. They show a nice finished picture of it. Doesn't that look good? We're going to glaze that up like that. And they give you a nice simple list of ingredients here. This is not real complicated to make. We're going to have a loaf pan here. We preheated the oven to 350. A cup of all-purpose flour, a cup of whole wheat flour. I'm just going to use 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to take that down to about one cup of all-purpose flour. Actually, I'm going to use 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm going to use, well, let me think what I'm going to do. A full cup of the oats here, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of unsalted butter, melted and cooled, 1 cup of 2% milk, some vanilla. I've got some raisins, and then we'll worry about the glaze later. So we're preheating. So what I want to do is have 3 cups here, so 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of oats. So I'm going to increase the oats a little bit and take the water content up a little bit. So it's a little bit of a bigger loaf. So let's get all of our dry ingredients, the flour, the oats, the sugar, the baking powder, the salt, and the cinnamon. Let's get that all together in one bowl, and then we'll get all of our wet ingredients together. I'm just using the 2 cups of the all-purpose, I think I've got gold medal here, all-purpose flour. And I'm just using a cup of the dollar store oats here, the quick oats. So I don't think it's going to make a big difference in baking here. So I'm going to go ahead and add them in now, and then put the rest of the dry ingredients in. Just using the light brown sugar. I don't even see many places that even sell the dark anymore, but the light is better for baking. Some bakers, some barbecuers like the heavy, the more molassely brown sugar, the darker, because it's more robust for barbecue and stuff. So there's 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar there. Now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So let me go grab that. All the dry ingredients are in. Now it's just a question of very carefully combining them. We don't want to do a halfway job, or else we'll get uneven rise and uneven distribution of ingredients. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and melt the butter that we're going to be adding in, and grab a couple eggs. The recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup of butter, which is, they say salted, unsalted. I just have salted. It doesn't much matter. I just reduce the salt from a teaspoon to half a teaspoon to make up for that. And I just cut one of the short sticks in half here, and then just throw it into a plastic cup. Pop it into the microwave for about 30 seconds, and it's good to go. And then I'll let it cool down a bit. That's the rest of our ingredients in. We've got a cup of 2% milk. We've got a cup of raisins. We've got that 1/4 of a cup of melted butter. We have a teaspoon of vanilla in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this combined really good. I've also greased a loaf pan, and I'll show you that in a second. I used some cooking spray and really hit that pretty hard, that loaf pan there. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got this combined real good now. I'm going to go ahead and put this batter, try to get all that goodness in there. Get that all into that loaf pan. And I can tell you, it already smells delicious, and I can't wait to give this a try. I'm going to change out the spoon now And I'm going to grab a spatula here, one of the nice ones that a wonderful subscriber, Roxana, sent. You want to get all of that goodness in there, every bit of that. Okay, just like that. And then you just want to spread that around the loaf pan, just like so. And our oven should be up to the temperature. We'll pop it in, and I just need to check how long that's going to be in, and there she is. Okay, right into our pan. This is actually going to go in for about 55 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, pop that right in there. Set our timer, and we'll see you guys after about 50 minutes. We'll check it. We're going to take a very sharp knife, put it in, see if it comes out clean. And then it's all about letting that cool down, and then simply preparing a glaze. We'll see you in 50 minutes, okay? Back from picking up a little treat for St. Patrick's Day, a little nighttime, little drink here. I know I shouldn't drink and everything, but I walked into the house. The smell was unbelievable. The cinnamon and, oh wow, you know, baked goods that have cinnamon in it, just amazing. Let's peek in. We got about 10 minutes to go. It's important to let this bake all the way through, okay? You may see on the surface that it looks like it's good, but remember, it takes a long time for that heat to reach into the very center of what you're baking, so you got to give it the full time. Okay, let's take a look at it. Looking beautiful. 10 more minutes. I can't begin to tell you how great this smells in the whole house. Like when I walked in after running a couple errands, incredible. So all we have to do is let this cool down for about 10 minutes. It'll contract a little bit. We'll unpan it, get it on a plate, cooling rack for a bit, and we'll let it cool down for an hour or so, and then we'll do the final glazing, and we will have some kind of delicious breakfast for tomorrow. The cake is nicely cooled. What do you think, Missy Jen? Pretty looking little oatmeal raisin cake there. It'll be a delicious breakfast for us and some breakfast for you this week. So now it's time to go ahead and glaze it. 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of milk. And I'll let you guys watch. Missy Jen can bring it in here for a little bit of a close-up. We'll go ahead and pop the glaze on here. Get a good distribution so we don't waste a lot down the side there. But it's kind of elegant when it goes down. We're going to try to glaze the whole thing, so use all of it. Okay. So it makes it very pretty. Okay. On all sides, and then just let it run down. And later we'll transfer it off, clean it up, and then reset her again. What do you think? Looks pretty good, huh? There she is.
Delicious.
Okay. I'm going to change up our plates, and then we'll have the final word. There's our final product, all nicely glazed. All ready for some delicious eating tomorrow. Cinnamon oatmeal raisin bread. That's going to do it for our oatmeal cinnamon raisin bread. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We'll do a hangout on the Rosie Murphy channel, and we will give it a taste test. We hope to see you guys there. Your thumbs up are appreciated. Good eating ahead. Thanks so much for being in the Rancho kitchen on a cool, chilly, late winter day. Thanks, everybody.